North Carolina landlord is charging her tenants $23,000 for various things, including a homemade table that she didn't think was appropriate. Welcome to another episode of Black Real Estate Dialogue. I'm Sam. I'm an out-of-state investor. Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure you like this video and make sure you also subscribe to the channel. The way this will work is we are going to check out a news clip of what I mentioned before. I'm going to react to it. I'm going to share some of my thoughts, and I look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comments.
A group of college students scrambled to find an off-campus apartment, but when they moved out a year later, their landlord sent a bill of $23,000.
And the reason for most of those charges, well, the property owner didn't like a table that they made.
I take pictures of
what?
You spit.
Where?
Okay, you dried it up.
Saying something doesn't make it legal.
Well, we've discovered now this landlord has a history of concerns just like this.
Our Nate Morabito learned property owners could face steep fines of their own for trying to collect fees that are not spelled out in a lease nor allowed by the law.
This $23,000 bill lists 21 charges in all, some for cleaning the apartment and the yard. But then there's a more than $18,000 fine, all because the students refused to remove a drinking game table. When their lease ended, not only did Tyler's landlord refuse to return his security deposit,
exterminator dispatched to get rid of rodents due to trash accumulation.
She tacked on hefty fines.
A ruined microwave.
A continuation of a much smaller previous collection attempt when she warned of a possible breach in the lease agreement.
This is a personal preference thing, not an actual piece of trash in your yard.
All right, so this is a very crazy situation, and I personally think it's kind of petty. So this landlord charged her tenants $50 a day for 365 days for this wooden table they created that she didn't like, she didn't think should be in the house, and that amounted to over $18,000. She also charged them $150 for when she sent somebody over to remove the table, but they chained it up. So she charged them $150 for that. She's not giving back their security deposits and a host of other things. So I think it's honestly kind of petty. And as far as not giving the security deposit back, I think it all depends on what is in the lease, what is outlined in the lease, which we don't have. And it also seems like this landlord has had previous issues as well. There's a much longer news clip where they talk about this landlord having problems with previous tenants before as well. I think another part of it is that you need to know your customers, right? And so if you are renting to college students, there's certain things that are just going to happen because they're college students. And so I think having a table in there is the least of your worries compared to the other things that could potentially happen when you're working with college students. And I think as a landlord, you shouldn't really meddle in the personal lives of your tenants. As long as they're not damaging anything in the property, they're paying their rent on time, they're not doing anything illegal, I don't think it really makes sense to try to meddle in their lives and what they're doing. And it seemed like this landlord would just randomly come by for no reason, walking through the property and telling them what to do and things of that nature. It doesn't seem like it was a really good relationship from the jump. So the interesting thing is that the landlord defended her decisions and shared that if there's something she doesn't feel is appropriate, then she should be able to tell the tenants to remove it. And to an extent, perhaps she's right. I just think charging $50 a day for a table is kind of outrageous. And as you saw in the clip, it's a personal preference thing, as the tenant mentioned. And I usually take the landlord side in many of these videos, but in this case, I think the landlord is going a bit too far. From an investor's standpoint, one thing I do want to emphasize is that it's very important to invest in a landlord-friendly state. You don't have to, but I suggest at least considering it. And a landlord-friendly state is a state in which it is easy to enforce a lease. The eviction process is fairly streamlined, and laws favor the landlords. That's my preference. I encourage you to consider that. Ultimately, you make your own choices, but I can encourage you to consider that. And from what I've seen, North Carolina is actually a pretty landlord-friendly state. And so if you are in an area where it's too expensive and maybe it's not landlord friendly, I encourage you to consider investing out of state. If you are interested in investing out of state, I have a 4-week workshop that's coming up in January. You do not want to miss it. Let's help you to kick the year off strong and create a plan to buy your first out-of-state property. If you're interested, go to outofstatemoney.com/workshop. All right, this is a quick one. Just curious to hear what you think. I definitely wanted to get some thoughts out there about it. I thought this was super interesting. So definitely make sure you leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you agree with this landlord. Let me know if you agree with the tenants. Very, very interested in hearing what you have to say. Definitely make sure that you like this video. Make sure you subscribe. And if you thought it was a good video, share with somebody who should check it out and leave their opinion as well. And if you have not heard about Redfin's claim that you must make $115,000 a year to buy the average home and why I believe that's false, check out this video right here and let me know what you think. All right, thanks. Talk to you soon.